Hello everyone, we have here a Wacker Neuson RD27 roller behind me here, and the customer says that it starts and runs, but the roller will not vibrate. So we'll check it out, troubleshoot it, and get it going. Okay, this is our Wacker Neuson RD27 roller. Does not vibrate. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the vibration fuse. Okay, it's already open, and if you look down here in the bottom left, somebody's already got some other kind of wire there. I don't know what that's for. We'll have to check it out, but this is the fuse right here. So you want to pull that one out, and you want to check it for continuity. But if you look at it, you should be able to tell it looks good. I don't know if you can see, it's faint, but you can see a little loop there. It's complete. If it was burned, it would be open in the middle. That loop would not be completed. And then to give it another check, you move your needle here to continuity. See the little diode right there? That's for checking fuses and diodes. You can see if it's got continuity. See how the OL, it says open line, and if you have a complete circuit, it goes to 0. Let's select, put it in the right mode. Okay, that's 0 right there. See, I put them together. See, I have them both together. That's a complete circuit. Take them off, they do the same thing. They come off. So, to check this fuse, put one on one and one on the other, and if it's not blown, if it's a complete circuit, it should beep. See that? Oops, well, hold on. See how we got that there? Complete circuit. So the fuse is good. Also, so the next, we put the fuse back in. The next step is to find the right key. Okay, I found the key. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it on, and we're going to check and make sure we have voltage here at this fuse. That's the fuse for the vibrator. So we're going to cut it on. Make sure it's in neutral, of course. It shouldn't start unless it's in neutral. And then we're going to put one on the ground. You see, to screw in the ground, and one on the fuse. We're gonna look there. Okay, at this thing. DC voltage. See, it shows 14.2 volts. So the fuse is hot. It does work. The fuse is good. Okay, let's get up and give it a test. Let's go up on top. Okay. So we're gonna, this is the activation button. We'll push it and go backwards. Goes back, doesn't vibrate. Go forward. No vibration. Backwards. Oh. Okay, you can see also, push the button, go backwards. The light's on, but no vibration. So, forward, hit the button, light's on. That's the vibrator button, so the light comes on. That means the activation switch is working. So, we'll put it back in neutral, make sure we're not going to go anywhere. Okay, and excuse me, let's get down. Okay, we're going to open it up. Okay, you see those little solenoids there at the bottom? You can't see them too good. You're on the left side of the machine, so you know where you're at. And down in there, see these 3 coils down in there. Can't see them too. So, if you can look down in there and see this one right here, that is the vibration coil. So we'll pull that wire off of it. Okay, let's put out the machine first. Okay, so now we know we have voltage. We check this fuse here, and we have 14 volts there. So 12 is good, 11 is good, 11.5 is good. That's fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check the vibration solenoid. So we're going to turn this key to the on position, and we're going to take this right here and move it forward. Push the button, move forward. Now, the vibrator light should be on, and it is on. That means this little solenoid in here is activated, which is, there's 2 solenoids. This one to the right here is the vibrator solenoid. So let's pull that off. Okay, I'm going to need 2 hands. Let me pull it off and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, I've already taken it off. What I had to do was I got these needle nose pliers and I pushed down on the clip. See a little clip in the back? Put a little clip and just pulled it up. But I needed 2 hands, unfortunately, so I couldn't do it in the camera. Okay, now you see this little one right here? Now, as long as that red light's on, the key's on, and the switch is in the forward or reverse, the light's on, the travel mode is in forward, so it should be vibrating right there. Okay, so there should be 12 volts there. You put your meter on volts DC, which is right there. You see this one's volts AC up there, this is volts DC. So, in this little pin right here, let me see. Yeah, this is the one right here. I'm gonna put our meter on there, and we should get 12 volts there on that. Okay, let's put it right here so we can see it. Sorry for the shaking and stuff. Put those pins in there. Okay, you see I got both pins inside of there, and you see we got 12.41 volts. 12.41 volts. So that deal, that little coil there is getting 12 volts. So there's no problem with the electrical wiring. Okay, so what we're going to test next is we're going to pull this coil off here and see if it's bad. So let me get that off. It looks like it has a socket. Looks like about 13/16 socket to get it off. Right back. Okay, can you see that little magnetic coil right there? This is the coil. So as you can see, it's got 2 little pins on the side. Well, I pull the wire out. Now those are what power goes into it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can see them good now. Those 2 little pins right there, 12 volt goes into there, and there's a big coil on there that produces a magnetic field, and it makes it pull up the pin on the spool, and that allows the hydraulic fluid to go by. Now those 2 pins should be, I believe, 5 to 10 ohms. So we're gonna have to pull that off. This is the nut right here. We'll have to unscrew that nut. I believe it's a 13/16 socket. They're usually plastic, so it shouldn't be that tight. So once we take that nut off, this coil will just pull right off the spool. What we'll do then, we'll take the resistance, check the ohms on it, and see if it's good or bad. Okay, I got the ratchet on it, so we're gonna just screw that out of there. It should not be tight, because like I said, they're always normally plastic. People over tighten them and they break them. The cap, the nut. The nut's usually plastic, so just kind of slowly get it off a little bit, then take it off the rest of the way with your hand. This is the retaining nut, and it is plastic, as I thought it would be. And then you just switch your hand in there, and hopefully it's not too tight. Sometimes they stay in there so long they get kind of stuck. Like, okay, it came off. Okay, and this is your coil right here. Now when you put 12 volts to this, it produces a magnetic field in there, like a magnet, and then the magnet pulls up. Inside of that little shaft right there, there's a little what they call a spool, and it pulls it up. See if we can get a better look from this side. Yeah, there it is right there. That's the spool. There's a little plunger that goes all the way down through the center, and when it produces the magnetic field, it pulls it up and allows the hydraulic fluid to go through and work. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to check it. We're going to put this on ohms. So we're not going to use, it'll be the same place, I guess, right there. And it should not read continuity. This is really not a good meter for testing ohms, but it says mega ohms. We'll give it a shot with this one. So you put one on one pin and one on the other one, and you see what you got. It says mega ohms. That can't be right. That means it's completely open and burned. Let's give it a shot again. One on one, and one on the other one. It says 10 ohms. So 5 to 10 ohms is supposed to be good. I don't know if you can see that 10 ohms. It said 10 ohms. Let's get back there. Okay. Let's try it again. It did read 10 ohms. So we'll have to go to the next step then. Okay. Where's my meter? Over here, baby. You can do it. Let's try it again here. Okay. Okay. We're going to put one on one pin and one on the other one, just like we did before. There we go. And the resistance reading should be 5 to 10 ohms is good. Hard to get it on there with this one hand. Okay, so it's reading 9.2 ohms. And we can see that 9.2 ohms, which is okay. It's good. So that's good. So we'll go to the next step now. Okay, we have checked the fuse for the vibrator, and it has 12 volts. We checked the relay here. We checked the coil, and it has 12 volts here at the coil. And we checked the coil itself. We had 9.5 ohms. 5 to 10 ohms is good. So we are going to plug this back in and go to the next step. Let's see why it doesn't vibrate. We'll go ahead and screw that back in, and then we'll go ahead and plug this one back in here. Okay, so it's all back together. Okay, the next step, we're going to cut the key off. There should be a ring here on this boot, the lever for the control forward and reverse lever. There's not there, so someone has already been working on it. Now, if you look here, you see this here is what they call a neutral safety switch. And what this does is it won't let you actually operate or start or drive the machine while it's in forward or reverse. It's a safety measure. So what you want to do is you want to pull off one of the wires. We'll do fine. Let's see if we can pull this up high. Oh, there's the ring right there. So you can see it had the 2 wires. I pulled this wire off of this one here. Let me see if I can get a better view there. See the 2 wires? Okay. I pulled this wire off of here. And what we're going to do is we are going to check this switch and see if it works. When you look down here at the meter, we're going to put it again on continuity, which is it is already. Put them together and it beeps. See that? Okay. Now, that works because you have to keep your eye on the thing. So we'll put it, we're going to take them both off. Okay, we took both wires off of the switch. You see the switch has 3 terminals there. We took both wires off. We're going to put one here and one there. It reads continuity while it's in neutral. As you move it out, it should take it off. So that switch is good also. Move it back to neutral and it should beep. So that switch is good also. We will go now to the next step, which is probably going to be the vibrator itself is not working, unfortunately. What is that? Okay, so now we got that back in action. Okay. Okay, now we are going to test the vibration solenoid itself. The first one we checked on this side is the vibration on-off solenoid. And the one on this side here, this one we're going to check here, is the vibration, actual vibration of solenoid. So the first one we checked had 9.5 ohms. It was good. That means the vibration on-off solenoid was good. That was this one. The one next to it is your actual vibration solenoid. So we'll have to pull off this connector right here and check for 12 volts with the switch off, switch on, and lever move forward. So let me pull that out and we'll check it out. Okay, now hopefully you can see down in there, I have removed the coil from the other solenoid. This is the one we did first over here. That's the on-off solenoid, and this is the actual vibrator solenoid. I took that off, and now I'm going to check for 12 volts right here to see if it has power. So we're going to look over here. This is forward. Keys on. You see the red lights on. The red lights on. So that means we are activated. So there should be 12 volts right there. So we'll put this one on 12 volts DC. Okay. And we'll put one in here and one in each hole there. Sorry about the camera, I really suck at this. Okay. And we got 13 volts. Okay, let's do it again so you can see it. See, we got 12.6 volts. And you see it's plugged in there. And that's that solenoid down there. So we know we got power to it, so it should work. Now we want to check the coil. This one here. We want to put it on resistance. Right there. And it should be 5 to 10 ohms. Let me swap hands here. 5, let me take this plastic off. Oh shit. I think it makes it harder to see. Okay, we are checking the resistance now. If you look at it, it was reading 8.7. Anywhere between 5 and 10 ohms is good. We got 8.7 ohms. So this coil is also good. So we'll have to go to the next step. Okay, let's do a recap what we've done so far. We've checked a lot of things and there's still no vibrator working. So let's do a recap. We went over here to the fuse box first. We took out the mounting bolts. Okay, we checked this fuse right here. That is the vibrator fuse. We checked one lead here and one lead on the ground, and we got 12 volts. One lead here, one in the ground, and we got 12 volts. Took the fuse out, checked with the multimeter, and we had continuity. So that fuse is good. We know that. Okay. The next thing we did was we checked the vibrator switch. See these two wires right here? Let's see if we can get a better look at them here, right there. We took them both off and we put a meter on the switch itself, one on each tab, the two outside tabs. We moved it and moved it out. It only shows continuity while it was in the up position. And also with the key on. Also, this red light here comes on, so that means that switch is there, it's working. Okay. Next, what we did was we checked this solenoid right here on this side of the machine. See where you're at. This right here is your vibrator. This one right here is your vibrator solenoid. That vibrator on-off solenoid, what that is. Your vibrator on-off solenoid, this one right here. So we disconnected the plug and we put the key on, move the lever forward without cutting on the machine. Just turn the key forward. We move this lever here forward, push the button, and the light came on. Push the button on top. With the lever forward, the light came on, and then we checked 12 volts on this connector right here. We pull it off and put two wires inside, two terminals inside of here, and we got 12 volts. We pulled this off. This is your vibrator on-off coil. We took that off. We put the two pins on the inside of it, and we had 9.5 ohms. From anywhere from 5 ohms to 10 ohms is good. Okay. Then we checked this other coil right next to it, and that is your vibrator coil itself, activation coil. And we did the same thing. We pulled off this pin, the wire right here. We checked for 12 volts. We pushed it forward a little bit with the key on, not starting, not running, but the key on. Pushed the button, and then the light came on. We checked for volts right there, and we had 12 volts at the other coil right there. Then we checked for continuity at the two pins, and we got 5.5 ohms. Anywhere from 5 to 10 ohms is good. Okay, so, and we have 12 volts right there. We pulled this off right here. Just pulled off two bolts, this bolt here and this bolt here. We pulled this off. We took a look, little couplings in place. This plastic is not broken. It's good. So now we're gonna go to, all that's good. So that only leaves two components. Okay, that would be this right here, which is your vibrator pump, and this little deal right here, not the coil, but this little valve right here, which is your unloader valve, relief valve, I'm sorry. That is your relief valve. What the relief valve does is, say you're operating a hydraulic function like the rollers, right, and they get stuck. The pump is producing 3,000 psi. Pump producing 3,000 psi. So that pressure has to go somewhere. This valve here opens up, and then it goes to one of these hoses back to the hydraulic tank. So that's what happens. Sometimes they stick open, and all the fluid goes back to the tank. In this case, I don't believe that is the case. Okay, so this pump here is your main drive pump that controls forward and backwards of the machine. It does drive forward and backwards, so that pump is good. This pump here in front is your steering pump. It steers fine. Left and right, it steers fine. Now this one right here is your vibrator pump. Notice how they're kind of connected together by a little shaft in the middle. This is a separate pump. This is your steering. This is your vibrator. The vibrator hose, this is your input hose. All the fluid comes in from the tank, goes in the top, and then you got a hose in the bottom, which you may not be able to see, going down there, and it goes down over to here and goes in the bottom where that coil is, right there. And you see this little plug right there? This one here will pull off the cap. Okay, I pulled the cap off of it. That one, I just pulled the cap out right there. That's where you check the pressure of the vibrator pump. That line comes straight from the bottom of the vibrator pump. Comes straight over there and goes right into the bottom of that manifold. If you put a gauge right there and crank it up and turn the key forward, it should have 3,000 psi when this button is in the double roller position right there. If it's in the single roller position right there, it should have 2,000 pounds per square inch on the gauge. So what we have here is a pressure gauge. As you can see, it checks up to 5,000 psi. That pump should only put out 3,000. And on this end, you notice I took this cap off. Now, if you don't have this little setup here, you can take this here to your hydraulic shop and tell them you want a fitting that size so you can connect it to your gauge. And this is it right here. This is the same threads as that. It's got a little hole in it. The fluid goes up through there and up to the gauge. Now, I think I paid $10 for this. I bought a set, but I think I lost one and I ended up buying for $10 for one. And this particular gauge right here is $32. And you can go to Tractor Supply or hydraulic. This I bought at the hydraulic shop, or you can buy it at Granger or any place you sell gauges. But it has to be the oil-filled 5,000 psi gauge. This hose, you can actually buy it at Tractor Supply for around $30. There are some for 25, some for less, depending on how long you want it. This one I like to, I think like 5 feet, I think, so I could, whenever I test, I can pull a long way. And I have different. I have 1,000, I have a 500 one, I have a 300 one, and I have a 10,000 pound one. But this particular, and I also change these tips depending on the machine I'm using, because the machines often use different size tips. But this one, is this one. So we're gonna stick it down in there. You can see that little deal right there on the side. Let me see. Yeah, it's right there. Let me show you. I'm gonna stick this on there. See it down there, right there? That's it. We're gonna tighten this sucker up. Now, like I said, we should get 2,000 psi when it's in the single roller position, and we should get 3,000 psi in the double roller button position. Okay, let's screw this sucker on there. Doesn't want to go on without a fight, as usual. Okay, let's pull it. There we go. Should make it a little easier. Okay. Okay, make sure it's good and tight. I'm gonna lose my oil spring all over the place. Okay, take a look at it. See how I got it connected right there? Okay. Then we'll put this up here so we can get to it easy. Okay, now it's always best to sit on the machine and operate it, because you don't want to run over your own toes, and these things are heavy. So, put it in neutral, crank it up. Okay, what I do now, look at the gauge, push the button. See, we only got 200 psi. Let's go backwards, off. 200 psi. Okay, as you can see, we only had 200 psi. It should be at 2,000 with the one drum roller connected. Right now, the two drum rollers connected, so it should be on 3,000 psi. Let's try it again. Yeah, we still only have 200. That won't do anything. Okay, so we only have 200 psi and it should be 3,000. That means the pump is not working. So let's pull this key out of here. Okay. Let's get back down here. Okay. Now that means for sure our pump here is bad. This is the vibrator pump. We're going to have to make a part 2 to this video because to take that out is going to be a long time. So what you do is, first thing you have, before you can take off the vibrator pump, you have to first take off the steering pump because they're connected together on the inside. So what you do is you put colored zip ties first, like a red here and a red there, and a green here and a green there, whatever color. See this right here? That's for checking the pressure of the steering pump, so you can see what the pressure is. But it's working fine. I tested it out. Okay. So before you take off any lines, you want to put colored zip ties on each one. The same color here as you put up on that way. That way you know this one goes there, that one goes there. And when you go to a hydraulic shop, make sure you buy some O-ring Boss plugs, so you can plug the lines up and it won't get dirt all on them. And then after it's only 2 bolts, this bolt here and this bolt here, and they are 15 millimeter if I recall correctly. I think they're 15 millimeter. And this pump here comes off. Once you get that pump off, and they're long bolts, once you get that one off, and then you can pull, because they share the bolts. Once you get this one off, you pull it off, set it to the side, make sure it stays in a clean location so you don't get dirt on it. And then this one here will come. Take this line, mark these lines here with colored zip ties, maybe red and red, green, green, whatever. And then you just pull this one off the back. Once you get it off, you want to inspect the gears and make sure they're not busted or broken, because if they are, I won't do no good to get a new pump. So I'm not going to take it off because the owner still wants to use the machine. He wants to, I will take it off right now and order a new one, but the owner wants to use the machine. He can use it without the vibration. So let me take this off. He wants to keep his machine in action. He just will not be able to use the vibrator. So I'll take this back off, and this is the cap that goes on there. When you're going to buy the correct fitting size, you can just take this with you, and that way you get the right size connector to connect your pressure gauge. And if you're going to be doing this work a little bit often, you want to buy a 500, 1,000, and then 5,000, and then 10,000. You really just need 4. And then with that, you can just put a quick connect here and be able to swap them out whenever you want to. But and then you just buy the gauge. I think I paid $32 for the gauge and $15 for the hose, I think. Okay. I'm gonna have to end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. I can't get the pump off because the customer does not want that line of machine. He wants to keep using it without the vibrator. So when I get in I'm gonna order the pump, and I'm also gonna order the relief valve. And when I get the parts in, we'll do part 2. I'll show you how to take it apart and put the new pump on, and make sure, cap off the line so you don't lose the hydraulic fluid. You definitely want to buy a cap for the lines, because especially when I buy a plug to put in this line here and this line here, because these 2 lines come straight from the hydraulic tank. And what will happen if you don't have these kept off, all the oil will leak out. You can use a rag temporarily, but it's best to buy the caps for them, or the plugs. Okay, so that ends this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please give a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get enough to get better algorithms to get more views, and I have a lot more things coming. Tomorrow I got a big Terex backhoe coming in. Won't crank, won't start. We're gonna get on that, and I'll send that video out tomorrow afternoon, depending on how it goes. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe and give me a thumbs up.